Paws up, pet pals. Welcome to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Now, on today's show, we will say bon appetit to famous dog chef Kevyn Matthews. Later, we're going to get the inside scoop on pet supplements with Bill Bookout of the National Animal Supplement Council. Can y'all say yum and bow wow? All right, first up, I politely say, move over, Gordon Ramsay. It's time to declare bon appetit for all you cool canines. We're going to dish up some paws and applause for the dog chef, Kevyn Matthews. Welcome to the show, Kevyn.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, I mentioned your name to my dogs in the back here, Kona and Emma, and they started drooling with delight. You kind of have that effect on canines. You're the treat guy, aren't you, man?
Yeah, well, I'm more than the treat guy. I actually do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Treats, fresh food, even go into, hemp oil and all that. So.
No, I love that. And we do want to dive in because Kevyn, everyone, he operates the award-winning Dog Chef Cafe. It's in Baltimore, Maryland. And you also host great little episodes called The Dog Chef on Dog TV. And, I forgot, you're also an author. Becoming a Dog Chef, Stories and Recipes to Spoil Your Pup from America's Top Dog Chef. You've been pretty busy in the kitchen and beyond, right? I'm just thinking yum, yum, and triple yum.
Yeah, I mean, busy in the kitchen for well over 30 years.
Wow. How did you get into the world of cooking, being a chef, and recognizing that our 3- and 4-leggers out there deserve good food and good treats?
Well, when I was a kid, I started to, play around in the kitchen at 10 years old. I was making dog treats and food for my dog. But in addition, I was also doing, trying everything. I almost burnt the house down.
Oh, come on. What happened? We got a dish on that. Come on.
I was frying chicken. Nobody was home. And I started a grease fire. But I put it out.
Okay, good.
Almost nobody knew about it. But now it's public. So that's where I got started. And after that, I was also a musician as well, clearly.
Yes, I'm admiring your guitars. What kind of genre? What do you do?
I'm a rock guy, although I like everything but country I'm into. But mainly a rock guy.
Are you in a band now, or do you just play for fun now, or what?
It's interesting because it all ties into the story.
Oh, good.
How I did all this. So, like I said, when I was a kid, I was a musician, and I, the moment that I got out of high school, I didn't stop. I just went straight out to work and try to achieve a music career. I moved to New York to pursue that. But when I was in New York, I was playing bass. My main thing is guitars. And while I was there doing that, I got a dog by the name of Greta. I always wanted a Doberman Pinscher.
What was the dog's name, Greta or Retta?
Her name was Greta.
Greta, okay.
So I started making her food after she refused to eat store-bought food. And the whole story, right. So the whole story is in the book, Becoming a Dog Chef. And so I started that way, and this is before there was no raw food on the market. There was none of these things. There was no pet restaurant, none of that.
No.
So the music kind of stopped, and I moved back to Baltimore, or to the Maryland area, to Baltimore. And then I started, trying to perfect a way to do this. And I would go to veterinarian's office and say, let me get your sickest dog, the one that you can't fix with medicine, and let me try with food. And I would do that and do seminars, and it was working. And then I started to do the meal plan service, where I would make food specifically for a dog and then go to the people's house every month. But the problem with that is that I wasn't getting to all the dogs, and the only people that could afford me were people that had a lot of money, and I felt bad about it. So I wanted to make it more accessible. And then I created a website, and went from there. We get hits from there. I would never ship in the mail because I didn't trust it. I did it twice.
I'm still waiting for my mail that was supposed to come 2 days ago from the post office. Yeah, I wouldn't want a meal delivered.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Christmas cards for 2020.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm not joking. They're still not here. So after, making it more accessible, then I wanted to create a store and do it. And then, I started doing that and seeing the benefits that everybody could enjoy. During the pandemic, the store had closed, and I was wondering how the people would get to the recipes because they would, everybody was going online and stuff like that. So I wrote a book on how everybody could also make food for their dogs.
And let's stop there because the big word during this mess is pivot. So you're writing a book. You're also now empowering pet parents on how to cook. But I want to know a little bit about the Dog Chef Cafe, because when did you open it? And I'm so mad at COVID, but I think you're back up, right?
Well, we've expanded into something else. I'll get into that. Right. So you said the question was, how did I start it?
Yeah, when did you start it? And
it must have been around 2014.
Okay.
And I wanted to create something kind of funky and new. And to be honest, when I opened the doors, or when I got the place, I didn't actually have any recipes really, other than the ones that I had made for other people's dogs, right?
Okay.
I'm like, oh crap, I don't even I want a store with all my stuff, but I don't even have any stuff. So I started to I didn't want to just, you go to these pet stores, you see these goopy cookies, they all look the same, with that like looks like a lacquer finish or whatever.
Thank you, Kevin. I agree. Yeah. I agree. It's like, I'm not going to shellac my dog.
No, and I think it's goofy. Anything that is like, a bunch of paws on it and like pet, it's not my thing. I wanted it to be very chic, very, almost like sexy for dogs. You know what I mean? Come in, the lighting is right, and and there was cookies and stuff that would fool humans, but I hadn't thought of it yet. So I took about 2 weeks, and I thought of there were 20 baked things they could choose from. 4 different types of ice cream, 10 different types of dried treats, and I also had there was a lot of space left in the building. So I sold dog themed artwork, like
nice. No,
like dog themed paintings. Then moved out of that building and then went up the street to a place that was more like I could shape it like a restaurant, and people would come and sit down with their dogs and eat. I had popcorn for them, and then we moved into the current spot, which we bought, and didn't have to deal with shady landlords, which is a big problem on the East Coast.
Well, we're gonna have to take a quick break because I want to keep everybody on their toes and paws. So everybody will be right back with the Dog Chef, Kevyn Matthews. Hey, everybody, we're back. We're talking with Kevyn Matthews. He is the Dog Chef. He had the Dog Chef Cafe in Baltimore. He's telling us a little bit about this. And so you've got your place.
Go
ahead.
I'm sorry. So we got the place. We love the place. It needed, when we bought it, it was a hair salon. And
everybody on YouTube, check out Kevyn.
We keep the hair salon, right?
Yeah.
But it had a house upstairs that was abandoned. So we let the lady stay down there. We powered through and we rehabbed the upstairs for a couple months. And then we went downstairs and rehabbed the downstairs. So we had finally kitchen in the place, everything there. newspaper, eyes, television, video, all eyes were on us.
Yep.
Then the pandemic came, and the Dog Chef Cafe was based on a lot of foot traffic that was coming by, and so we went from tons of foot traffic to none. At that point, my wife had actually stopped becoming a teacher because she was going to take the back half of the building. The building is pretty much a block long.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So we built a grooming room in the back, and we were going to have her doggy daycare. Well, that took off. And so now, fast forward. And so during that whole time, during the pandemic, right before it, I had bought a little truck to go around.
Oh, I saw it on some of your clips.
Truck, right? In the videos to go to dog parks, but that was also not being able to happen. So then we got a call from Dog TV, filmed a television show with that. And then at the same time, I was building a human vegan taco business, which is now on that truck. Okay?
All right.
That truck is like a taco business with the name Chihuahua Brothers. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So meanwhile, the downstairs has become the Wolf Hotel, which is a fancy schmancy
nice.
Dog hotel.
Pivot.
Right. You got to keep it moving. So doggy hotel with fancy schmancy grooms and grooming. This whole place, including this, is the hotel. Okay.
You know what? Bravo, Kevin.
Yeah.
Because some people can have a pity party when COVID hit. I actually wrote 4 books during COVID. What do you think of that?
I love it.
Yeah, you got to do something. This was a stop, abruption. All of a sudden, you got to say, what am I going to do? I am impressed. And we need to let people know what the heck dog TV is. It is cool. My dogs have been in some specials. I teach pet first aid. But your Dog Chef episodes, tell us a little bit about dog TV and why people should tune in, especially to your segments.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about dog TV from the beginning. So I did, turn this off. I did Animal Planet's Dog 101 years ago.
Okay.
When I first started being out there, like it's got that much notoriety. So I got a email from a really cool guy by the name of Ron Levi, who owns.
Oh yeah, he's a big dog. He's a big dog there.
Yeah,
Dog TV.
And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like he's freaking hilarious. And he's like, I want to do something with you, but I don't know what. Years went by.
Oh.
And then he finally, he was telling me that he was starting this thing. And so then when he had time, and then he finally reached out, and then we started to do the mini episodes, which were filmed in the first place downstairs. And then we did the second season right after the pandemic, and where we traveled around and met all these cool people and dogs. I love dog TV. I feel like not enough people know about it. They should all be on it. If you got a dog, you should have dog TV.
Well, let's talk about because you got to go to Long Island and Jersey and Baltimore and DC doing these little segments. And can you share with our folks, our pet pals, you had a cellist named Wade Davis, and his dog was named Mr. Gibbs in Baltimore. Tell us a little bit about what you cooked up for Mr. Gibbs.
Mr. Gibbs was a special case. When the pandemic was going on, we were getting calls from senior dog places. That dog, we do fostering too, so that dog came through us, and it was Wade's first dog.
Oh, okay.
Right, so he found out that he didn't know that he was sick. He didn't even know how old he was. So he found out that he had this condition. And I wanted to build something to build strength in his heart. And that would be a little more healthy for him because he was getting older. And Wade is Wade is a good friend. He lives around the corner. Brilliant cellist. Unfortunately, Mr. Gibbs passed away in my hands a few months ago because Wade had called us because he didn't know what was going on, and I think Mr. Gibbs was having a stroke. And Wade doesn't drive, so he brought him over so I could see, and he died. But he lived quite a while after, the show.
But let's talk about some of the. I think you had codfish and cabbage and oats and papaya, cauliflower, flaxseed, and palm juice. Did I get it right?
Oh yeah.
That is a great. You're a musician. That's a great orchestration of healthy food.
Yeah, I feel like when I first started doing all this stuff, I wanted to think of it as, you're trying to recreate, because dogs are omnivores, but they would have gone for like a little animal in the wild. You're trying to create what that little animal they're eating was eating, because the dog probably wouldn't be eating the vegetables and fruits as much. And so,
let's because we just have like about a couple minutes left. Can you give us some tips for the dog chef apprentices in life? Some good foods or some good tips to make sure if they want to cook for their dog or complement a quality commercial diet?
Don't think too much.
Okay.
Your dog.
I like that. I'm going to get a T-shirt that says that. Okay.
Yeah. In the words of Herbie Hancock, less is more. Dogs are fine before we got here. Okay. You need a decent protein that they actually smell when it's raw and they like it. They'll go lick it. Not too much fruits because you don't need too much sugar. Not too much vegetables. Just enough. In my book, I talk about how to measure these things out for weight. You don't need. Things like oils and putting oil in the food is okay, but you don't need too much.
Good.
Especially if you're supplementing. And understand, as a human being, your stomach is the size of your fist. Okay. You shouldn't be eating more than this.
Right.
3 times a day. Well, the dog's stomach is smaller too. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. And never leave the food bowl out. That drives me up the wall.
Me too. No.
I don't walk around with a feed bag. It's just like nobody does that. Put the food down for 10 freaking minutes. If the dog doesn't need you to pull it up, he's not going to die. Okay. He'll come back. You come back later, he'll be more hungry.
All right. Hey, everybody. We've been talking with Kevyn Matthews. He is the dog chef. Please go to thedogchef.com. I also want you to get your paws on his book, Becoming a Dog Chef, Stories and Recipes to Spoil Your Pup from America's Top Dog Chef. And check him out on Dog TV. You know what, Kevyn? We're going to have you back because I know there's so much more. But I really appreciate you being on the show. Did you have fun?
Yeah. What else is I doing right now? It's like there's no dogs barking. This is freaking ridiculous. They're usually out of control here.
If your band ever needs a backup glockenspielist, I'm your gal.
Hey, I'll be in touch.
All right, everybody. We've had a great chat with the dog chef, Kevyn Matthews. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about pet supplements with the top dog at the National Animal Supplement Council, Bill Bookout. So sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content. Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.